If you are about to head to Aldi for your shopping, stop immediately. Truly. Aldi UK in 2025 has changed completely, opening new stores continuously, switching suppliers constantly, and recalls appearing more often than you might think. You still go to Aldi as in previous years, then you are walking into a completely different supermarket with silent risks no one tells you about. You think you are saving money, but produce looks fresh one day and has deteriorated the next. Some items are cheaper, but others you are paying more for than in Tesco. And the worst part, the most important secrets are not on the shelves. Golden hours, psychological trap zones, unstable batches, products staff avoid buying. All of these are hidden from customers. With more than 15 years of experience shopping at Aldi, I will show you the 9 biggest secrets long-time Aldi shoppers wish they had known earlier. Keep watching so you never buy the wrong thing again. Aldi UK in 2025 has changed, and you must be cautious immediately. If you think Aldi today is still the Aldi from a few years ago, there is a good chance you are walking into a risk zone without even realizing it. I say this not to frighten you, but so that you understand that 2025 is a year in which Aldi has changed at an incredible pace. They are opening a new store almost every week. It sounds like good news, but in the consumer world, anything that grows too fast usually comes with blind spots customers must be aware of. When a chain expands rapidly, everything behind the scenes, from new staff, new processes to a stretched supply chain, can cause inconsistent quality. One store may do things very well, while another just 2 streets away lets things onto the shelves that should not be there. What is striking is that Aldi UK's profit has fallen while they accelerate expansion. When a retailer must keep the image of being cheap at a time when costs rise, but profit falls, it is hard not to ask questions. Because if they do not raise prices, something must be cut somewhere. And unfortunately, the cuts are never in places customers can see. No one openly tells you that today the store is short of staff to check stock, or that the latest delivery came from a cheaper supplier than usual. You may already have seen several recall stories this past year. Holiday chocolate recalled due to undeclared ingredients. Some canned items with incorrect labels. A batch of minced meat suspected of contamination. Occasionally a surprisingly cheap snack but with ingredients not matching the label. One recall is normal, but if you pay attention to the frequency, you will see it is happening more often than feels comfortable, or more accurately, more often than you should ignore. That is why I say you must stay alert, not because Aldi is getting worse, but because they are changing too fast. When a supermarket is racing with market speed, the only thing you can do is raise your level of caution slightly. You do not need to panic, you just must not shop on old habits alone. And if you want to understand how Aldi keeps prices low during such a turbulent time, we need to talk about what they cut behind the scenes. Aldi's cheap price formula. What they have sacrificed. Many people look at Aldi's price tags and smile, thinking they have just grabbed a bargain. And they have, but what few realize is that these prices do not fall from the sky. They exist because you are doing part of the work that bigger supermarkets pay staff to do. Let me make this clearer. At Tesco or Sainsbury's, you pay for convenience. You pay for staff who arrange products neatly on shelves. You pay for someone to take each item out of a carton and place it tidily so you can choose easily. You pay for a customer service team ready to help. You pay for a clean, polished, bright environment with clear signage and gentle pathways. At Aldi, all of that is removed. Not because they are lazy, but because this is their strategy to minimize operating costs. And if they remove that work, who does it instead? You. You push the trolley, you find the items, you bend down to dig through cartons, you pack your own bags, you check dates yourself, you check produce, freshness yourself. All of this is true, and all of it is part of the operational model that keeps Aldi's prices low. This is not an opinion. This is how the discount model works. Aldi cuts costs from every angle. They do not use decorative shelving. Products stay in the boxes so staff do not waste time arranging them. They do not need a large team because everything is simplified. If the shelf has 3 types of pasta, they do not need 10 more to satisfy every preference. Fewer choices help them negotiate better prices with suppliers because buying large volumes of one item is always cheaper than buying small volumes of many. And when they do not pay for big brand marketing, that cost disappears from the price you pay. It sounds small, but when you add it all up, this is why a bottle of olive oil or a box of eggs costs noticeably less at Aldi. But I want you to look deeper. When Aldi reduces staff, the checking of product quality also reduces. This means you must check details that in larger supermarkets, staff would have checked for you. Packaging tears remaining shelf life bruising on produce changes in ingredients. The minimalist model gives staff less time to inspect each batch, especially fresh items. There is nothing wrong with this. It is simply the invisible cost of low prices. You get a good price, but you must take more responsibility for yourself. Aldi is cheap because part of the operation is shifted to you. You do not pay with money, but with effort, awareness, and carefulness. If you understand this, your Aldi experience becomes much smoother. But once you understand why they are cheap, the next question becomes the most important one. Not every cheap item is worth buying, and not every product in their private label range has equal quality. And that is what you truly need to grasp. Understanding Aldi's private label correctly. Everyone knows Aldi is famous for private label, but not everyone understands what their private label actually is and why you must stay alert when choosing each item. Because most things you bring home from Aldi do not carry big brand names, the way you judge quality must be different from how you shop at Tesco or Sainsbury's. The first thing you must know is that many Aldi private label products are made in factories that also produce items for famous brands. This sounds appealing, but the truth is that the same factory does not mean the same formula. No one gives away a premium brand's proprietary recipe at half price. A factory is just a production site, while the formula is adjusted to Aldi's cost requirements. Some items change only slightly and you will not notice. Some change noticeably in sugar, salt, or fat content. This is something many people do not realize, especially those who buy out of habit without reading ingredients. But that does not mean Aldi private label is inferior. In fact, many of their products exceed expectations. A piece of specially selected cheese can make you feel like you are eating something twice as expensive. Aldi chocolate, especially the German imported range, is frankly excellent for the price. Frozen items like fish or vegetables are also strong categories for Aldi, consistent and rarely disappointing. Staple goods like flour, sugar and baking powder are cheap and no worse in quality than the big competitors. These are items you can confidently put in your basket anytime. However, alongside the good items is a long list of products you must be cautious with. Many breakfast cereals contain more sugar than well-known brands. Some sauces have simple ingredients, but use cheap thickeners that make digestion harder for older adults. Ready meals can have such high salt content that one portion gets you close to the recommended daily limit. Snacks often use cheaper oils that taste good, but are not healthy for regular consumption. None of this is Aldi hiding anything. It is simply because they prioritize cost first. If you understand that you will not buy on impulse, there is something else few notice. Aldi's private label changes faster than you think. Suppliers can change when ingredient prices fluctuate, and formulas can be adjusted to maintain price levels. You will struggle to notice these changes because packaging usually stays the same. For young people this is fine, but for those over 50, small changes can affect blood pressure, digestion, or blood sugar. Something you have eaten for 3 years suddenly becoming slightly saltier is enough to make a difference. No one tells you this, so only you can protect yourself. And that is when we must look towards the fresh food section. Because if private label is already varied and inconsistent, then produce especially pre-washed salad berries or minced meat fluctuates even more. This is truly the area where anyone over 50 must be more careful than ever. Be cautious with produce at Aldi. I will speak plainly to you as someone who has observed the UK consumer market for many years. Produce and fresh items at Aldi include some things absolutely worth buying, but also some that with just a small oversight, especially for anyone over 50, can bring risks you would not expect. It sounds dramatic, but this is the section I always ask older customers to be particularly alert about. Because produce is something we eat daily, and because it is fresh, it can spoil easily, become contaminated easily, and its quality can fluctuate more than any other category. The reason you must stay cautious lies in how Aldi operates. Aldi follows a minimalist model, fewer staff, many private label products, constantly shifting suppliers to keep prices low. This benefits your wallet, but it also has a downside. When a process is lean to the point of being maximally streamlined, the layers of control at labeling, packaging and storage are usually thinner. Not because Aldi is doing something wrong, but because they choose a fast, efficient model to cut costs. And when operations move faster than quality control can keep up, labeling errors and product errors are difficult to avoid. The past few years have shown exactly this. You may remember the recall involving Aldi's chocolate that contained peanuts not listed on the label, or the batch of baked potatoes recalled because they contained milk without the packaging warning it. And if you use pre-packed produce, you will know about the E. coli alert from bagged leafy salads that caused concern across the UK. Not all of these were Aldi specific, but when the entire industry's safety net becomes thinner, the risk to consumers rises, especially for people over 50 whose digestion and immunity are no longer as strong as before. Beyond the labeling issue, Aldi's produce has a rather unusual pattern, very fresh but very volatile. You can buy beautiful apples, oranges and broccoli, genuinely good value. But right next to them, more sensitive items like pre-washed salad, bagged leafy greens, berries or minced meat require extremely careful inspection. These items are easier to contaminate, easier to bruise, and easier to spoil if packaging, transport or storage slip even slightly. And because Aldi relies heavily on fast stock turnover, you will sometimes find items that look good and are cheap, but are closer to their date than expected. For younger people, this is fine, but for older adults, eating salad or minced meat close to its date can be a genuine risk. I say this not to make you avoid produce at Aldi. In fact, if you know how to choose properly, whole produce like carrots, potatoes, onions, apples, oranges, cauliflower, and similar items are absolutely worth buying. They are less sensitive, less likely to fluctuate in quality, and rarely encounter microbiological issues. But what about pre-prepared items? If you have a sensitive gut, blood pressure issues, or a history of infections, it is best to limit bagged salad and soft fruit. If you must buy them, choose the bags with the longest date packaging, with no condensation, no bruising at the bottom, and buy early in the day or right after a fresh delivery. And what about meat and ready meals? You must read the ingredients and dates carefully. Aldi's ready meals are often cheap, but high in salt, and minced meat is sometimes packed very close to its date. This is not a fault, it is how Aldi keeps costs. Low fast turnover, low storage levels. But for older adults, I always give one simple rule. If the date makes you hesitate, put it down immediately. You do not need to accept risk just to save a few pence. But that is only one part of the story. Because produce is not only about risk, it is also about timing. Aldi has discount hours that, if you know them, can help you save more than you expect while still choosing the freshest items. And this is the part many people overlook. Now we will talk about the golden hours and golden discounts you should know so you never overpay at Aldi again. Golden hours. Golden discounts at Aldi. If you know them, you can save a great deal. You have gone to Aldi for years, but have you ever wondered why some people spend half of what you spend yet their basket is full? It is not luck. It is because they know something called golden hours. Aldi's everyday low prices are only the surface. The hidden part is the discount timings that, once you understand them, save you more than you think. Aldi is not the kind of supermarket that puts up loud signs shouting 80% off. They do everything quietly. If you notice, there is always a small discount area in the store. Items there are usually still good but close to date, or need to be sold quickly to avoid waste. These items have red stickers, and the reductions can range from 30 to 70% depending on timing. This is where experienced shoppers always look first. So when do the real golden hours happen? One is in the morning when the store has just opened. This is when staff have placed the remaining items from the previous day onto the discount shelves. Bakery fresh items, chilled goods. You can find excellent deals at this time. But the second golden hour is the real jackpot late afternoon until close to closing time. This is when many stores apply the biggest reductions. Meat fish salad, milk bread, any of these can be reduced far more than you would expect. Of course, each Aldi store has its own rhythm, so you must try a few days to learn the pattern of your local branch. But golden hours are only half the secret. The other half lies in how Aldi shelves its products. Every shelf, every position, every level has a purpose. And if you do not understand this, your eyes are probably looking exactly where they want you to look, not where the best value items actually are. That is why in the next section we will discuss something extremely important, why eye level is not the place of highest value in an Aldi store. This is something intelligent shoppers always know well. Aldi's shelving is not random. Do not just look at eye level. Have you noticed that every time you step into Aldi, you almost always pick the items right in front of you? You see something and reach straight for it. But here is a truth most customers do not know. Aldi arranges products not for your convenience, but to guide you to buy exactly what they want you to see first. And most of what you see first is not the best value stuff. That is why I want you to understand how Aldi organizes everything, because once you do, you will never shop the same way again. In reality, Aldi does not need a complicated layout like Tesco or Sainsbury's. They use a simpler and much sharper method. Fewer signs, fewer colourful shelves, no fancy decorating. But that simplicity makes you think everything is random. It is not. Right at eye level are the products with higher profit margins or the items they want to push quickly. That is why cereals, snacks, biscuits, nut milks, drinks, certain sauces, all sit exactly at eye level. Attractive, easy to grab, instantly tempting. All intentional. But do you know where the best value area is? At the very bottom shelf, where you must bend down, where few people bother to look, where older adults often avoid because it strains the back. That is where Aldi places the best value items. Good price pasta rice, canned food, basic cereals, with solid quality baking ingredients that are absolutely worth buying, all placed where your eyes rarely go. Our contacts at Lidl have said this openly, and Aldi follows the exact same logic. The bottom shelf is not an accident. It is where the impatient miss out on bargains. And the top shelf, that is where they place items that appeal emotionally. Seasonal items, holiday chocolate sweet treats, scented candles, fresh flowers, all slightly above hand level. You see them but must stretch just a little, and that gesture triggers the brain differently. Oh, might as well grab one. Not always bad, but certainly not the best value zone. Another area you must watch is the end cap, the shelf at the end of each aisle. This is usually where Aldi pushes weekly promotional items, not where the cheapest items sit. Many people see an end cap and assume the product is on sale. Not always. It is simply placed where you are more likely to think it is a deal. And once you understand how shelving works, you will be ready to enter the most unpredictable part of the entire store, a place where you can find excellent bargains or something that will not last long at all. That is the middle aisle, or special buys. The next section will reveal all its secrets. Special buys in the middle aisle. A real treasure, but also the place where you are most likely to buy the wrong things. This is the most interesting part of Aldi, but also the easiest place to buy incorrectly. Not because Aldi tricks you, it is because this area is designed so that everything looks appealing. This week it is kitchenware, next week gardening tools, then exercise gear, then winter clothing, all in limited style, meaning if you do not buy today, you may never see it again next week. And the feeling of buy now before it is gone is exactly what makes the middle aisle sell extremely well. But there is a truth you must remember. Many items in the middle aisle are not checked as strictly as food products. They do not rotate regularly. they do not have consistent standards between batches. Some items last you a whole year, but others show problems after only a few weeks, especially cheap electronic self-assembly, wooden items, exercise tools, or heavy cast iron pots. For young people, this might be acceptable, but for people over 50, buying the wrong items here costs both money and effort. However, the middle aisle is not only full of risky items, there are things absolutely worth buying: kitchen towels, plastic container sets, small cooking tools, garden gloves, seeds, doormats, bath towels, mugs, small office accessories. These items are cheap but work well, reasonably durable, and importantly do not pose danger if they are not perfect. This is the group I often recommend older customers to choose because they offer good value and low risk. The items you should think twice about are quite clear. Electronics that are surprisingly cheap sound tempting but break easily and are difficult to claim warranty on. Self-assembly furniture, chairs, tables, large shelves. If you no longer have much strength or are not used to assembling things, it is best to avoid them. Heavy cast iron pots are absolutely unsuitable for anyone with wrist pain or arthritis. And specialized items like drills, multifunction juicers, electric pressure cookers are rarely as durable as professional products. Do not let low prices fool you. I have a small rule that anyone can use before buying something from the middle aisle. First, do I really need this item, or do I just think it is pretty and cheap? Second, is this item suitable for my health and capability? Third, if this item breaks after 3 months, will I feel regret? If the answer to any of these makes you hesitate, put it down. The middle aisle is not a race. It is a test to see whether you buy with your head or with your emotions. And after the middle aisle, we will move to the part many people look forward to the most. Because beyond this miscellaneous area, there are items in the food section of Aldi that you should not buy. In fact, some items are more worthwhile and safer to buy at Lidl or Tesco. This is the section that will save you money and help you choose the best products. The items you should not buy at Aldi and should buy at Lidl, Tesco or Asda. You have shopped at Aldi for years, but have you ever asked yourself, are all the things I buy actually the best choices? Aldi is cheap. Many things are good, but there are items that if you knew you would buy elsewhere for better prices, safer quality and better suitability for your health, especially when you are over 50. I say this not to make you avoid Aldi, but to help you buy the right item in the right place. Saving money must go hand in hand with safety, otherwise saving becomes meaningless. The first group you must be cautious with is sensitive fresh produce. Pre-washed salad, bagged leafy greens and berries look simple, but spoil easily, become contaminated easily, and fluctuate in quality extremely quickly. Many customers have complained that salad bought in the morning turned colour by the afternoon, or berries that looked fresh in store had mushy bottoms when opened at home. Not because Aldi does something wrong, but because the lean model makes stock rotation extremely fast, and quality varies day by day. For this group, Tesco and Sainsbury's are usually more stable, and Lidl does better than Aldi for berries. Next is minced meat and cheap chicken. These are the products older adults must pay special attention to because they are often close to their date or have excess water in the packaging. This is not immediately dangerous, but it makes quality inconsistent and spoilage faster, especially if you do not use them immediately. To be direct, Tesco and Asda usually maintain the cold chain better and their dates are longer. If you want peace of mind, especially for weekly cooking, you should consider buying from those places instead of Aldi. Another group you should consider carefully is ready meals and soups. At Aldi, this category is often high in salt, sugar and thickeners compared to major brands. For young people, eating quickly is fine, but for anyone over 50, that amount of salt can raise blood pressure and affect heart health without you noticing. Tesco Finest or Lidl Deluxe taste better, have more consistent quality and gentler ingredient lists. In fact, many older customers switch after just one careful reading of Aldi's ingredients. Aldi's breakfast cereals and snacks are another category you should check carefully. Many items look similar to big brands, have nice packaging and taste fine, but contain much more sugar and use cheaper oils. These are foods that make you overeat easily, especially if you assume that private label means safe. Not everything is bad, but if you want to protect blood sugar and digestion, Tesco or major brands, although slightly more expensive, are worth every penny. As for large household items and electronics in special buys, I advise you to be very careful. This is the group older adults most easily buy incorrectly. Heavy cast iron cookware, cheap vacuum cleaners, self-assembly chairs, all can cause inconvenience or do not last long. If you need these items, choose Argos Dunelm or Tesco Home. Prices may be slightly higher, but you are buying peace of mind. And now you have a clear picture what to buy, what to avoid, and what is better bought elsewhere. But to shop truly intelligently at Aldi, you are still missing one thing: the insider tips. The things Aldi staff and long-time shopping communities quietly share, the small tricks that help you save more, avoid more risk, and choose correctly on the first try. The Aldi community and your relationship with staff, the underground information you should use. If you have followed me to this point, congratulations! You are about to reach the tips that even long-time Aldi shoppers do not all know. I call this the back door of Aldi. The first point I want you to remember: if you can become friendly with just one staff member in the store, you will gain half the secrets. A small greeting, a friendly question, and you will know when your local store receives fresh produce, which day's produce looks best, and even which batch should be avoided because the chilled truck arrived late or items were too soft. Staff cannot stand talking for an hour, but a simple "if you want berries, come back tomorrow" can save you from a mouldy box of grapes. The second point: the days and hours of produce delivery are not random. Aldi UK usually receives the biggest deliveries early in the week and midweek, especially in the morning. Older customers in Aldi Facebook and Reddit groups are very honest. Salad bought at the weekend is a gamble. If you want produce that looks good fresh with a long date, go on the morning of the first 2 or 3 days of the week. And berries, according to the community, look best on Wednesday and Friday. Simple, but extremely effective. When choosing risky items like salad leafy greens, berries or minced meat, spend a few more seconds. Salad with condensation at the bottom of the bag should be avoided. Berries with wet bottoms or fruits sticking together are already soft. Minced meat with a slightly pink bottom or liquid should be left behind. As for dairy items like milk, yogurt and cheese, always choose packs from the back or bottom because those are the freshest. These are small tricks but extremely valuable for those over 50 because just one wrong choice can upset your digestion immediately. If you want to keep up with which items are worth buying this week, which items have issues, or which special buys to avoid, the best thing is to join a community group. Aldi UK Facebook groups update faster than Aldi itself. You have reached the last point of this entire journey, and if you apply what I just shared, you will not only save money, but become a smart consumer in any supermarket, not just Aldi. So you have reached the end of this journey, uncovering the secrets few people talk about in Aldi. And if you have watched this far, I am certain you are no longer someone who shops on instinct. You now understand why cheap does not always mean truly cheap, why produce must be checked carefully, why shelf placement always has intention, and why knowing the right time and the right product is the smartest way to save. This is what separates ordinary shoppers from truly aware consumers. Share your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever experienced any of the cases in this video? Do you have any tips to add? I would love to hear your stories because this smart consumer community only grows stronger when we share with one another. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. There are many more fascinating topics about shopping food and smart consumer habits waiting for you ahead. We will go on this journey together for a long time. See you in the next video.
This video does not promote division within the United States or encourage education. All content is presented for the purpose of exploration, analysis, and fostering discussion based on current events, public sentiment, and social trends. We fully respect the United States Constitution and all federal regulations. If today analysis made you think, drop a comment so we can keep the conversations going. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you will never miss our next independent deep dive.